This is North Philly. This is North Philly.
Philadelphia, a Democratic stronghold where black voters could tip the balance this year.
You voting?
Yeah, I'm a vote, brother.
All right.
I'm a Democrat, brother.
In 2016, a drop in black turnout in swing states helped Trump skate by.
So thank you to the African American Committee.
This time, there seems to be a singular focus.
Hey, get Trump the fuck out of there. You're fucking my money up.
That's the overall sentiment of the people that you talk to?
Yeah.
He's still not wearing a mask. So it's in his head, I guess, if you believe hard enough that it's not real, it won't be real.
All of our lives are at stake right now.
We in trouble if a lot of people don't get out here and vote.
I ain't not enough for him, though.
But the level of enthusiasm for Joe Biden is low and could put a damper on voter turnout. Black leaders have revived Biden's political career time and again.
Joe Biden!
Joe Biden.
This candidacy was dead. Now we're very much alive.
Biden has added a historic pick for vice president and is hoping to mobilize black voters who've historically delivered for him. But after this summer of protests for black lives, some here doubt that Biden will do that.
I'm totally opposed to defunding the police officers.
Yet another person who turns our stomach.
And I'm going to vote for Joe Biden, right?
I think that the Democratic Party has taken black voters for granted.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Besides, you ain't black. What do you have to say to young black voters who see voting for you as further participation in a system that continually fails to protect them?
If young black women and men vote, you can determine the outcome of this election. Not a joke. You can do that.
I returned to the city I was born in to talk with voters about what they think might happen. It's days before the election, and this year, nothing can be taken for granted. In June, Joe Biden made a stop in Philadelphia.
3.3 million business owners have shut their doors since February.
The pandemic gave the campaign an opening with voters.
41% of African American businesses have shut their doors.
We were completely closed from March the 16th or 18th until the end of May.
My name is Tiffany Easley. I am the owner of NP My Eyewear, which is a full-service optical store in West Philadelphia.
I love the human aspect of him.
There's no reason why a woman who's as capable as you running the business should be in a position as a consequence of the failure of the president and the administration.
And him actually asking, what do you need?
Think about questions you haven't asked me you want to ask. I'll make sure you have phone numbers.
And did they get back to you when you...
They did, actually. Yeah, they did.
Not everyone here feels that Democrats have answered their call.
I applied for housing with the Philadelphia Housing Authority in the 1970s. I still haven't gotten a letter.
Organizers at several homeless encampments want shelter for 40,000 people on the city's public housing waitlist. These fights with local Democratic officials have turned many against the party's national ticket.
I don't believe the hype anymore because I don't see what they are doing to make life different. My enemy are Democrats.
In North Philly's Kensington neighborhood, organizers are working around local Democratic officials and moving homeless families directly into empty housing units.
In Philadelphia, there's 10 abandoned properties for every homeless person, and there's no reason for anybody to be homeless. People could be in houses like this family is.
You see this house, right? It's perfectly livable. And it's been sitting closed for God knows how long.
I mean, this is Biden country, and the majority of billionaires have backed the Biden campaign, including Blackstone, which is the largest landlord in the entire world.
And we don't want them to be a part of that Democratic machine or that Republican machine. We want to groom some of our young kids. That's why we try to educate them, get them to understand, so that when they get older and they move into politics, we know we're going to be able to have someone we can vote for.
In this city, with the highest poverty rates in America, resentment towards the donor class has led to a search beyond the two political parties. And those alternatives have begun to appear. When Kendra Brooks won a city council seat last year, it was the first win for a third-party candidate in 100 years.
We see the Democratic Party courting, moderate white folks in the suburbs, leaving behind one of the strongest voting pools, which is black women, and taking all of those things for granted. It made it easy for me to decide to run as a third-party candidate because of those things. I have been a Democrat all of my life until now. We have a movement that organized around getting me elected, and that same movement have to continue the momentum to bring this election over the finish line. Because one thing we know for sure, we need to get rid of the racist rapists, right?
Weeks before Election Day at City Hall, voters are lined up to submit mail-in ballots, and Kendra's Working Families Party is out canvassing.
Monday through Thursday, you're able to vote, both register and vote in person. Please spread the news and let folks know from now through Election Day. Every single day is E-Day now. You talk oftentimes about the swing voter between Democrat and Republican, but there's the other swing voter, which are generally people of color who vote either for a Democrat they're inspired by or swinging to not voting at all.
Turnout is one thing, but people are still learning the rules of a new voting system, and there are concerns about making their ballot count.
No, I'm not going to get discouraged. That's why I'm talking to you now, because you're the third person. I want to get the right answer. And I want to get the same answer.
Yes.
That's due in no small part to Trump, who stoked conspiracy theories about voter fraud and put black voters in the crosshairs.
In Philadelphia, they went in to watch. They're called poll watchers, a very safe, very nice thing. They were thrown out. They weren't allowed to watch. You know why? Because bad things happen in Philadelphia, bad things.
Today, his campaign operatives are at Philly's Board of Elections meeting. They're suing to be able to monitor satellite election offices in the city. That guy's from the RNC.
The Trump campaign requests that we immediately be able to appoint poll watchers to observe the voting at these satellite offices. Voters deserve transparency and accountability.
During the June primary, Philadelphia took weeks to count mail-in ballots. On November 3rd, it will be a mad dash to get results, and Trump's lawyers will be watching closely. Do you have a ballpark range of how long you think it will take to count these votes?
We learned a lot in June about how long it actually takes to count hundreds of thousands of mail-in applications, and we've purchased industrial equipment that will allow us to open and count these ballots as quickly as possible.
While Pennsylvania braces for a close race, organizers are focused on boosting turnout in Philly and changing the electoral map. These formerly incarcerated organizers are canvassing working-class black neighborhoods.
Growing up, we was always taught, disconnect from this system. Don't be a part of this system. The system out there oppress you. But now we got to rethink that strategy because it doesn't work. So we're trying to galvanize our people, man. Right now, you got the registration stuff for you?
Yep.
So I seen you inside the prison. Yeah, I was there for a lot of years. I ain't know him, but he seen me in there.
Appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate it. Good to see you, man.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
Definitely, man. It's good to see them out here, though. Sometimes they don't know they got the right to vote.
We outlined if you're under house arrest, you can vote. If you're on probation or parole, you can vote. If you're in a halfway house, you can vote. If you're in jail awaiting trial, you can vote. All these people can vote.
I went from 1 year probation for a bag of weed to 8 years probation. I ain't never been back in the jail since I maxed out in 2011. That's what's up.
Even though Trump supporters are hard to find here, Biden's track record on crime is a problem for some.
And I'd say lock the SOBs up.
These people's lives you took 45 years ago. And you talking about a mistake? They can't get that time back. I would never vote for him.
That's your choice, bro. Just engage in the process, bro.
Yes, sir.
You'd be surprised how many guys get like that. A lot of guys like that.
Trump has tried to capitalize on Biden's record and has opened this campaign office in West Philly.
I'm doing better than any Republican has done in a long time because they saw what you did.
I feel like the white people don't have no shame in saying, oh, I'm for Trump, unless they're surrounded by black people and they feel like they shouldn't say it. But I feel like, yeah, black people mainly. A lot of them are for Trump and they just don't want to admit that they're for Trump. President Trump called on Congress to pass a school choice giving every child the best chance at a good education. But what exactly is that? A lot of us just don't understand what he's talking about. I don't think he understands what he's talking about. But nobody that I know of is saying, oh, I'm for Trump. I'm like, nobody as of right now. But that's what I mean, not that I'm aware of.
The president's pitch to black voters has collided with his appeals to white power.
Stand back and stand by.
That hasn't stopped this pastor from hosting Trump campaign events at his church.
I'm just very careful not to assume or presume that the man is a racist, because I really believe he's not. And
on key issues in this election, the pastor was ready with the following false claims.
The white supremacist David Dukes is backing Joe Biden. At one time, people were saying there were going to be as many as 2 million people dying from COVID-19 in America. If you recall, early on, Dr. Fauci was saying it's no worse than a common cold.
Biden has a clear advantage with black voters, though some polls show Trump cutting into that lead, especially among young black men. Until November 3rd, that's where Donnell is focusing his outreach.
You a registered voter?
Yes, I am.
You are? You plan on voting this election cycle?
I might. I don't know who I'm gonna vote for though. I thought Bernie was gonna be one of the contenders.
Yeah.
They kicked them right out. It's Trump and Biden.
Yeah.
They're arguing like kids on TV.
Yeah, that's true.
This is all our options. Take that or leave it. That's why we're not voting.
By you not saying that, you're giving somebody else a right to say it for you. Instead of not doing nothing and sitting it out, get involved in the process. So I got your word?
Yeah, you got my word.
I appreciate it, man.